Their names are Duke and Baron. The Duke and Baron that we have here, Duke is the one on the left, Baron is the one on the right. I like to call Duke the Rook because he looks like a chess piece. But they're 30 metre tall horsehead sculptures, weighing about 300 tonnes each. And they sit at the gateway to a canal, the Forth Canal. You can't tell, the easiest telltale sign of Victorian architecture are the windows. Some of them have been upgraded for double glazing, just because our winters are far too cold for us to stick with the original single pane sash windows. But the key aspect of the windows is the size, and they also extend out of the properties into bay windows or even out of the roofs. But you'll see beautiful lofts all over this area. 50 to 60 years from now, if we let the population of deer run riot, we would run out of vegetation fairly quickly, and 50 to 60 years from now we probably wouldn't have new growth available if we didn't keep it in check. So it's a highly managed job. Despite what it looks like, there's a lot of surveillance going on within these plantations to ensure there isn't too much growth going on. But this logging industry was set up in the 17th century and it's been around for a long time, and it's disrupted a lot of Scotland's environment. But I'll be honest with you, I'm not going to do that. There's a little portion, and this is incredibly low for the mist and the cloud to be. It's never usually like this. It doesn't look very pretty though. It's about the same age as the Glenfinnan Viaduct, just over 100 years now. But it's no longer used. In fact, it's not used by railways, as I mentioned. It is used, however, by foot traffic, because it's part of a long distance footpath called the Rob Roy Way. That's 76 miles long, starts in a wee village called Drimmen. I'm particularly a fan of Rob Roy. I actually very much have a distaste for him, because he's very much, everybody thinks that he was one of these really helpful kind of guys and would do anything for his community, but it was absolutely not the case. He was a selfish man. Some of the backpackers doing the West Highland Way just now, well, there's a couple of backpackers, a couple of hikers just in general. But in the summertime, you can get some nice dry weather that's nice and crisp, but also gets away from a terrible insect that we have called a midgie. It's worse than a mosquito, and they're everywhere. They love damp, wet, green climates. Name translates to the Great Herdsman of Glen Etive, which actually sits in between two glens. Up here in front of us, to the front left, and we're about to look right into, is Glencoe, and to the left there's another glen. It's called Glen Etive. All of that exposed rock, however, is usually covered in water, so it just goes to show how much of a severe drought we had for those 5 weeks, with the lovely weather that we had before you guys probably got here. But here you are, welcome to Glencoe, folks. I'll join in the cliche. In fact, drovers used to take their cattle in there also for the bad weather. See a whole bunch of people hiking the trail. But there's so many links, so many different trails. You can meander wherever you want. We've got a thing here in Scotland called the Right to Roam Act, an established law that allows people to traverse anywhere they like, provided that they're complementative to the environment. There's a famous phrase in the world, but I'd say Scotland uses it the most in the best way.
That angle that we had down there was actually usually like this one. Oh yeah, that one's cool. I've heard it.
The property with the cone roof there, that's called Mackay's. That's a local pub and a really nice one for that matter. So I know some of you here were looking for a wee beer, you were saying. Mackay's is quite a popular one, so is, as you can see, Scott's Corner. There's quite a few people here.
He said 45.
In Prohibition era, your lovely 1920s, you had a gangster looking to make illegal hooch and get it distributed through the States. Al Capone, we all know about him. Guy with a Tommy gun. Yeah. Well, he was responsible for purchasing Edinburgh at one point, with the hopes to. He didn't end up successfully buying it, but we had hopes to purchase it to smuggle whiskey across the Atlantic over to Canada and then take it from the American-Canadian border, smuggle it in that way. But he obviously got done before that was possible. So it's quite an interesting thing that Al Capone once owned Edinburgh. Second largest cantilever design bridge, until it was originally the world's largest, but then the lovely or pesky Canadians, depending on your outlook on life, stole their thunder in the 80s.
Where?
There's that hole right there.
Oh. Oui, il y a du vidéo.
Cypress Reed down. Look how nice that is.
Oh, yeah.
Dani, me has hecho buena foto. ¿Me has sacado?
Je souhaite ne jamais revoir cette ville puante.
Les Écossais sont d'ordinaire nos alliés face aux Anglais. Que nous cherche-t-il à Noise?
Voilà bien tout le problème, Louis. Middleton n'est pas écossais, c'est les rats anglais. Il ne nous pardonne pas d'avoir fourni des vaisseaux et des armes à Jones, voilà plus d'1 an. Son ressentiment n'a pas disparu, mais pendant que Jones célèbre sa victoire, nous sommes ici. J'ai écrit son